What's going up, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have an awesome video for you. One door closes and another one opens. We know Gary Gensler is officially retiring, stepping down, getting fired, whatever you want to call it, but who is going to be opening that door and taking that position? We're going to be deep diving into the new SEC picks. There's multiple people. We're going to evaluate them and take a look. Also, there's a brand new name that just got dropped into the hat. And breaking news just now, Trump has officially selected who he's going to be putting in the head of the Treasury Department. We'll take a look at that and what he has to say about Bitcoin. Will Bitcoin hit $100,000? We've been waiting for 2 days now. It's getting so close. It has already hit $100,000 officially on the futures, but it has not officially hit it on many other exchanges. We're going to take a look at that. XRP is on another move to the upside. Very exciting. Multiple days in a row. How long will it continue? And Suicoin just had breaking major news for them as well that came out today. Stick with me till the very end. I'm going to go over 5 altcoins that could end up 5xing, 10xing, 100xing. So if you're going to be the first millionaire in your family tree, let me know by smashing that subscribe button down below. And if you're feeling bullish and blessed about this current bull run, let me know down in the comments 777. Before we dive into the breaking news alert, the SEC Gary Gensler is out. Who is in? I did go ahead and actually put together a Twitter thread or X thread. If you would like to follow us over on X, you can follow me here at Real Win with Ryan. Win with Ryan on X. Now, when it comes to being bullish on the crypto market, I thought this was one of the craziest things. I don't know if I like it as a positive thing or a negative thing, but we'll take a look at this. U.S. Senator Loomis calls for the United States government to sell its gold and buy Bitcoin. Personally, I think that's a huge mistake. Gold is always going to be very important as a reserve asset. We do know, obviously, Bitcoin becoming the new digital gold. But we're going to take a listen to this. But let me know down in the comment section, do you think it's a good idea for the United States to sell its gold?
You know, we got off the gold standard a long time ago. My question is how much you would spend tax dollars at a time where we're talking about trying to reduce costs. How much would you spend on Bitcoin as part of this reserve?
We wouldn't have to spend any new dollars. We have reserves at our 12 Federal Reserve banks, including gold certificates that could be converted to current fair market value. They're held at their 1970s value on the books, and then sell them into Bitcoin. That way, we wouldn't have to use any new dollars in order to establish this reserve. The United States already holds over 200,000 Bitcoin in the asset forfeiture funds. So that would be the initial source of Bitcoin. So no new money spent on this reserve.
And let's remember, what is the Bitcoin reserve? Some of you may have heard it, some of you maybe not. But Cynthia Loomis, the lady you just heard talking on the video, she proposed this legislature. The plan involves the U.S. government acquiring up to 1 million Bitcoin over 5 years, which would represent approximately 5% of the total Bitcoin supply. The initiative aims to strengthen the U.S. dollar and manage national debt by leveraging Bitcoin's fixed supply as a hedge against inflation and economic uncertainty. Some of the challenges that this is facing right now is critics argue that Bitcoin's volatility and speculative nature might not make for an ideal national reserve. However, proponents see it as a long-term asset with potential benefits for monetary stability and as a new form of digital gold. When I was doing more research on this, it was really interesting though, because I did search, does the Federal Reserve actually hold gold? And the answer came back and actually blew me away. No, the Federal Reserve does not own gold, but it does store gold for account holders. The Gold Reserve Act of 1934 required that the Fed to transfer all of its gold to the United States Treasury. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York stores gold for account holders, including the United States government, foreign governments, and private investors. The Fed does not buy or sell precious metal, and the U.S. Mint holds the majority of the U.S. Treasury's gold. And then I continued to dig because there's also conspiracy theories out there that said that Donald Trump actually moved the Federal Reserve under the United States Treasury. So in my research, it says here that the idea that Donald Trump moved the Federal Reserve under the Treasury Department often stems from various interpretations and discussions around actions taken during his administration. And here are some points to consider. During the COVID-19 CARES Act was passed, which included provisions that allowed for closer coordination between the Treasury and the Federal Reserve. And the reason I'm bringing this up, because if you remember recently, Jerome Powell was asked if he could be fired by Donald Trump, and he said, no, legally I cannot. But some people on the internet right now, on X and everything all around, are talking about how Trump would actually have the power to fire him. So going on, the Treasury provided funding to the Federal Reserve's emergency lending facilities through what is known as the Exchange Stabilization Fund. This was not moving the Fed under the Treasury, but was a significant collaboration in response to the economic condition. There have been public statements, particularly on platforms like X, where users have interpreted these financial maneuvers as Trump effectively nationalizing the Fed or placing it under the Treasury oversight. However, these claims often lack legal stabilization and formal policy change documentation. So in summary, while there was significant coordination between the Federal Reserve and the Treasury Act under Trump's administration, especially during the economic response to COVID-19 pandemic, the Federal Reserve does not lose its independence or become an arm of the Treasury Department in a legal formal sense. The narrative that Trump moving the Fed under the Treasury appears to be an exaggeration or misunderstanding of these economic collaborations. So doing a little more digging, I asked Google, and this is what they said. The U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve are separate entities. The Treasury manages all money coming into the government, and that's paid out by it. The Federal Reserve's primary responsibility is to keep the economy stable by managing the supply of money in circulation. And people also ask, okay, who's in control of the Federal Reserve? The Federal Reserve is controlled by the Board of Governors, which is located in Washington, D.C., and who controls the Treasury. And currently, the Treasury Secretary is Janet Yellen. However, that leads me to the next point, which I brought up in the beginning. And we will be getting into that SEC and XRP and information here in just a moment. But breaking news, the Treasury has a new nomination, and his name is Scott Bessent. And Eleanor Terrett X posted this out, but she also posted this back in November 11th, talking about how positive he is for crypto.
I've been excited about the president's embrace of crypto, and I think it fits very well with the Republican Party, the ethos of crypto is about freedom, and the crypto economy is here to stay. The Democrats are running from it because they're trying to wash off the stench of Sam Bankman-Fried and his family's donations to the Democratic Party. So they're willing to take down a whole industry because of bad behavior on their part, bad behavior of one actor. And I think that everything's on the table with Bitcoin. And to me, one of the most exciting things about Bitcoin is for a generation of investors who maybe post the great financial crisis have been looking for investment opportunities, or maybe they'd soured on markets. Crypto is bringing in young people. It's bringing in the people who haven't participated in markets, and having a market culture in the U.S. and people believing the markets work for them is a centerpiece of capitalism.
I had to go digging through my archives here on Twitter. And if you guys remember, this was November 14th, 2022. So a long time ago when the Sam Bankman-Fried was going down. But some of you guys may or may not know this. Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEO of FTX, MIT graduate, was also there when Gary Gensler who is now the head of SEC, but he was a former MIT professor, so they knew each other there. Glenn Ellison was a professor of economics at MIT as well, and former boss of Gary Gensler. And you have Caroline Ellison, the CEO of Alameda, dated Bankman-Fried and the daughter of Glenn Ellison. So you can see how these guys were all mixed up. And that goes to that video where he was just talking about how, if you remember, the Democrats wanted to just basically get away from crypto if possible because Sam Bankman-Fried was running a money laundering system for the Democratic Party. He ended up donating nearly $1 billion for the Democrats when Hillary Clinton was running for president. So let's get into the SEC scenario. So just in, breaking news, SEC Commissioner Jamie Lizarraga to resign in January. Now, this guy is just a commissioner. He's not the head of the SEC, but he voted against approving the spot Bitcoin ETF. So anti-crypto at the SEC. And then remember, just recently, a couple of days ago, this came out. Potential SEC chair candidates was Daniel Gallagher, Mark Urita, Hester Pierce, Brian Brooks, Christopher Giancarlo. Now, a lot of that has been shaken up, and it's not necessarily that. So let's go over to that thread I told you about. So who is taking over for Gensler? Well, there's a lot of names out there. One of them is Brian Brooks, the former chief legal officer at Coinbase, Bitfury CEO, and he was the office of the comptroller of the currency alum under Trump as well. So he's already worked with Trump. Rumor has it he's been spotted at Mar-a-Lago. Could this mean that he's the next in line for the crypto-friendly SEC? Then there's Paul Atkins, ex-SEC under President George W. Bush. He's been in the industry advocacy game with Digital Chamber of Commerce. If anyone can bring a nuanced approach to crypto regulation, it could be him. We can't sleep on Dan Gallagher, currently the chief legal and compliance officer at Robinhood. He's all about making sure decentralized assets aren't left in the regulatory dark ages. So who would you want at the helm of the SEC? Brian for his crypto experience, Paul for his regulatory background, or Dan for his current industry insight, or somebody else entirely? So let's take a look at who that somebody else may be, because there's new breaking news. So just in, the SEC chair candidate, Teresa Goody Guillén, says, make crypto great again. And we run a quick search here on x.com for her, and look, just in, potential new SEC chair, make crypto great again. On November 21st, she posted out, make the SEC great again, make crypto great again. Under President Trump, transformative change starts on day one. SEC must restore trust, engage with the industry, and end regulation by enforcement. It's time to knock down needless obstacles, remove burdens, clarify crypto rules, and promote innovation, protect investors, and our place on the world financial stage. Bring crypto back to America. So her name just broke after I had written up that proposal, that post thread over on X, and we'll see what happens. It's getting exciting. Things are getting crazy. I know it's been this weird mesh lately of politics and crypto, but the reality is before it was all politics because it was all crypto because politics, we didn't even want to mention them because they were so anti-crypto. But now that politics is swinging our way, the pendulum was swinging from one extreme over to the next, and it's getting very exciting for us in the crypto industry. And if we take a look here on crypto bubbles for the day, we can see everything is doing really well. We got XRP up 24, XLM up 48, ADA up 37, HBAR up 27. That's for the day. Looking at the year, the top 100 cryptos, almost all of them are blowing up in the green and with massive, massive amounts. And then also when we do the drop down here and we look at others, so this is the 1 through 100 by market cap, but if we look at all of them, everything is now in the green. So 2024 coming to an end with some excitement, with some great news in the green. Will 2025 continue? And recently, Stuart Alderati, the chief legal officer for Ripple, he made a great post here saying a lot of unsolicited advice on here, meaning X, about who should or shouldn't be the next SEC chair. He says, I trust the transition team to make the right call with these table stakes for crypto in mind. Number 1, end all non-fraud crypto litigation on day 1. Number 2, get commitments from commissioners Ueda and Pierce to stay on, whether they're the chair or they're at least on board, because we know that they've been pro-crypto, and work collaboratively with the new chair. Collaborate with all financial regulators and Congress on clear and simple rules for crypto, but without presuming that those rules give the SEC primary jurisdiction over everything. Renounce the 2018 Hinman speech and the 2019 framework for investment contract analysis of digital assets. Give concrete transparency around FOIA process. Ensure that it becomes real, credible mechanism for public access to information, not an opaque system, and guarantee accountability and restore public trust by addressing past issues with the SEC by emboldening the Office of Inspector General.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. and the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University through the link below. And although we make no guarantees because crypto is definitely risky, guys, this is only $97 a month or $970 a year. If you want to save $194, getting 2 months for free and unlock some exclusive bonuses through the link below. But I'm not going to talk all about that in this video because we have a lot to cover. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers, because we have a lot to cover with you over the next few minutes in this video to help you become the first millionaire in your family tree. If that's a goal of yours, our goal is to help 1,000 members set their portfolio up for life this month. And you can get started through the link in the description below right now, or you can go to bullrunners.com to take advantage of the bonuses we're giving you before they expire. We have about 200 members right now, and we literally just launched like less than 5 days ago at the time of making this video. Everyone is loving the community. They're loving the education. They're getting access to real-time altcoin picks first before we ever make videos about them. So click the link in the description below, watch the video, and I'll see you on the inside.
As we take a look at a nice clean chart of XRP here on the weekly, currently sitting at $1.59, $1.60. When we turn on our indicators that we've been using, first and foremost, let's go ahead. Actually, I'm going to turn off the Fibonacci report for us for just a second. So let's go ahead and delete that. So we've been talking about these super key areas of interest, which we are getting into with XRP right now. So right now we are in a key level. It would be extremely important for us to break through these levels because this area could then become support again. Obviously, in the past, it was working against us in resistance. We broke through this one. Resistance became here. We are up into that, which is fantastic. That most recent all-time high is at $1.96. It would be amazing to get up there and create that as a support for XRP, because then we may never see $1 ever again. Zooming out a little farther, we have our all-time high, $3.31. I do want to go ahead now and turn on the Fibonacci again, because we have reached that level. When we take it from the most recent high to the most recent all-time low, we can see we have just now breached the 786 level of that Fibonacci. So that's actually very, very positive, because usually at the 786 between 618, we could see a return or a rejection. But right now we're pushing through that very nicely. After we break above that previous all-time or the most recent high of $1.96, we can then move up to that $3.01 level. But what gets more exciting is when we take it out, even expand that level even deeper, we go from the actual all-time high to the most recent low. And we can see we are going to run into the 0.5 level of the Fibonacci. And that it busted through there nicely before to create that new most recent high. Unfortunately, it rejected there multiple times after it tried to re-solidify that. So we're getting back to that level. And that's also the top of this area of interest that we're talking about here at $1.69. So the most important thing that we need to see from XRP right now is breaking through this 5.0 level of the Fibonacci and then reclaiming that as a support. So this $1.70 area, super key for us to break through and reclaim as a support. Jumping over to Bitcoin, as we've been doing from the previous high to the most recent low, and not counting the bull flag that was created, we can see price has pushed up and it's getting extremely close to that first extension level of the Fibonacci, which is at $101.69. We are now in the third week of price discovery. There's 1 day and 23 hours left in this candle. So the exciting thing is for Bitcoin now, pressing up above this first fib extension level and then claiming that as a support. So we'll go ahead and mark this off and track this level right here at 101,677. And the 5 low cap gems that I'm keeping a very close eye on that I think are going to do very well. Number 1 is Beam. And we'll go ahead and take the fib from that most recent high to this most recent low. So right now it's rejecting off the 382 of the Fibonacci. If it breaks through and returns back to its previous all-time high, that's a 95% run. And then if it gets to its fib level extension, 191% run up to the 7-cent level for Beam. Another one I'm tracking very closely is Yield Guild Games, YGG. We're going to go ahead and take the Fibonacci from where its previous high recently was to its most recent low. And as we can see, price is getting up to the 236 level and rejecting off. We need to see that breakthrough there. If price does get through there and continues to run up to its previous all-time high, it's $1 or 193%, $1.16. And then getting to its fib level extension, it's going to be a 349% move at $2.11. And this is a gaming coin that did extremely well in the 2021 run. As we can see way back here, we had an all-time high for this up at $11.50. And if we track that, that would be from where we're at now, that's a 1,800% move. So number 2 is Yield Guild Games. Number 3 is ApeCoin. And everyone's familiar with ApeCoin. Obviously, it went nuts for the NFT scenario, but it crashed very quickly thereafter. We go from the most recent high to its most recent low. Right now, it is struggling to break above the 382 level. It just rejected last week, but it is pushing nicely this week. If price gets back to its most recent high, then that would be a 118% move. And if it were to get back to its all-time high of $28, that will be a 2,160% move. So we have Beam, Yield Guild Games, and Ape to watch for. And here we have Floki. Floki has been doing a really great job from its its all-time high down to its most recent low. It got back into that golden pocket, that 618,786 zone, which if it doesn't break through there, could return all the way back down to here. However, with the momentum, it's getting listed on Coinbase. Its game is officially launching at the end of November. Where it's at now to its previous all-time high, you're looking at a 41% move. To its next fib level extension is 100% move from where it's sitting today. And next up, we have Rune. And if we take the Fibonacci from where its current most recent all-time high was to its most recent low, we can see it's running into some resistance right now. It needs to break through that level. Obviously, everything is starting to get ready to pump. Alt season is not here just quite yet. These are just things to keep an eye on, by the way. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not buy or sell any of these coins because we're talking about them on this channel. This is for educational purposes only. We're playing with demo money here, not real money. So go have some fun with it, but check it out. We are running into a resistance right here, though, at $5.88. If price does get through this level and then move back up to its most recent high, it's a 105% move. And if it can get back to its previous all-time high, it's a 277% move, but there's even more room after that. So those are the 5 altcoins that I'm taking a very close look at right now. It's got Beam, Yield Guild Games, Ape, Floki, and Rune. Take a look at that. And if you want to get all the insider information of what we're looking at all times, you can come join our community. Take a look at this.
Hey bull runners, this is super time sensitive, especially if you're looking to stack more crypto before the bull run is over. Did you know that Visa and MasterCard lost a $5.5 billion class action lawsuit for imposing unfair fees on merchants and business owners? So if you own a business or if you know any business owners that process payments with Visa or MasterCard between 2004 and 2019, that's 15 years, you could actually be owed a refund of 1 to 1.5% of your total revenue from that period. That's a lot of money. For example, this business that generated $1.6 million in credit card revenue during those years is getting back $28,000. This business that generated over $7 million is getting back $93,000. And this business that generated over $20 million during those years is getting back over $320,000. That's money they didn't even know was on the table. And all they did was fill out a form through the link below this video. It literally takes less than a minute to see if you qualify, but you don't want to wait too long because the deadline to file is February 4th, 2025. So the sooner that you fill out the form below, the sooner that you can reclaim what's rightfully yours. Plus, if you don't have a business, you can actually earn 3% by referring businesses that do qualify by creating your affiliate account through the link below. So this is a no-brainer way to get money back in your pocket to use for your business, or if you want to use it for crypto or other assets to invest in, you can do that. So click the link below. Let's get you paid.